You ever feel like you're just invisible? Like you're putting all this respect out into the world, but you just never seem to get it back? Well, what if I told you there's a powerful psychological strategy to completely flip that script? Today, we're going to break down some really fascinating insights from the Golden Stars channel, all about how to use the power of ignoring to gain instant respect. So here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to tackle the problem itself, that feeling of being invisible. Then we'll get into three massive principles: the scarcity mindset, the stoic mindset, and the growth mindset. After that, we've got an advanced tactic called push and pull. And finally, we'll wrap up by talking about your new power. Sound good? Let's get right into it. All right, first things first, let's really get into the heart of the problem. We're talking about that draining, frustrating feeling when you're consistently overlooked, right? You're doing your best, you're trying to be there for people, but you still end up feeling like you're just taken for granted. So let me just ask you straight up. Do you feel like people just don't value you? You put in all the effort, you're the one who's always there, and yet you still feel like you're just an afterthought. If that hits home, trust me, you are not alone. And the solution? It's probably not what you're thinking. And this is the key, right here. The big takeaway from the source material is that the solution isn't to give more. It's not about trying harder. No, it's a total mindset shift. It's about using a bit of psychology to change the game, to change how people see you, and because of that, how they treat you. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into our first major principle, the scarcity mindset. And look, this isn't about playing games or being arrogant, not at all. It's about tapping into a really basic rule of human nature. Let's break down how this actually works. The whole idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. Think about it like this. It's basic supply and demand, but for you. If you're always available, always on call, always ready to drop everything, well, your time kind of becomes a common thing. And what happens to things that are super easy to get? They're easy to take for granted. So how do you actually do this? It boils down to two key steps. First, you've got to reduce your availability. But here's the most important part. Don't just act busy. You need to be busy. Busy building your own awesome life. People will naturally start to value your time more. And second, create a little mystery. You don't have to be an open book all the time. Keep some of your goals, your dreams, even your weaknesses to yourself. It makes you way more intriguing. Okay, moving on to our second principle, which builds right on top of the first one, the stoic mindset. So if scarcity was all about controlling your external availability, this is all about mastering your internal world. And this really gets to the core of what Stoicism is all about. Real power isn't about controlling what other people do. It's about controlling how you react to what they do. I mean, think about it. An unbothered person is an uncontrollable person. When people realize they can't get a rise out of you, that's when you have all the power. So what does this look like in practice? Two big things. First, you have to stop reacting. Seriously, if someone ignores you, what's the first instinct? To chase them, right? To demand an answer. But all that does is scream weakness. Your silence? That's your power move. And second, you've got to learn to say no. A high-value person doesn't say yes to everything. Saying no is you telling the world and yourself that your time and energy are valuable. All right, our third principle is honestly maybe the biggest game changer of them all, the growth mindset. This is the part where you stop worrying about what other people are doing and you turn all that focus inward. It's all about upgrading yourself. What this really means is understanding that you are not a finished product. Your value isn't some fixed thing that other people get to decide. No way. It's something you can actively build on every single day. It's your chance to become a better, more powerful version of yourself. And just look at the difference here. The before you, taken for granted, always available, totally predictable. But the after you, you're in high demand. You're focused on your own growth. You're constantly improving. See, when you're so busy building yourself up, you create your own gravity. People just naturally get drawn in. And this isn't just some vague idea, by the way. This source material gives us some really concrete things you can do. We're talking about building a fit body, wearing clothes that make you feel good, finding a nice fragrance, leveling up your conversation skills, even just improving your diet. And remember, you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for you. It's about building a version of yourself that you are proud of. Okay, so we've covered the three big pillars: scarcity, stoicism, and growth. Now, let's get into what the source calls an advanced tactic, something a little more dangerous. It's a psychological trick that combines everything we've talked about. Yeah, the source material does not hold back on this one. It's described as a psychological trick so dangerous that you can play with anyone's mind and make them obsessed. I mean, that's a pretty intense claim, right? So this is one of those things where, with great power comes great responsibility. So here's how the push and pull method works. It's a three-step dance. Step one is the push. You show a ton of interest, a lot of affection. Then, step two, comes the pull. You suddenly pull back. You withdraw all that attention and become distant. And step three, you repeat it. The idea is that this cycle keeps them confused, off balance, and, constantly thinking about you. It's a really powerful tool for sure, but you can see how it walks a very fine line. So let's bring it all home. We've talked about scarcity, stoicism, growth, and even that intense push-pull tactic. These are all incredibly powerful tools for changing how people interact with you. But it all comes down to one final, really important idea. And here it is, the big secret behind all of this. When you show people that you can live without them, that's when they feel like they can't live without you. The power completely shifts from them to you. It's all about self-sufficiency. When you're genuinely happy with your own life, when you don't need their approval, that's what makes you magnetic. You stop chasing respect and it starts chasing you. So that leaves us with one final question. A question for you. Now that this power, this knowledge, is in your hands, what are you going to do with it? How will you use these ideas to build respect in your own life? That, my friends, is entirely up to you.